Welcome to Yasmin Consults. I'm Yasmin, your guide to fostering stronger marriages and enhancing productivity. Join me as we explore practical tips and insight. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today, we are going to look at the 11 signs your marriage needs a reset and how to revamp it. The first sign that your marriage is in distress is when you have constant criticism or blame. If you consistently criticize or blame each other rather than working together to solve problems in your marriage, it is a sign that deeper issues may need to be addressed because you are supposed to be each other's garment. What happens then if you are at each other's throat all the time? The second sign is when you have lack of communication in the marriage. If meaningful conversations become rare and there is a pattern of avoiding discussions about feelings, concerns, or the relationship itself, then it indicates that there is a communication breakdown in your marriage and you need help. The third sign is when there is emotional distance between you and your husband or you and your wife. When you feel disconnected or emotionally distant from each other, it is a warning sign. If one or both of you feel like you are living separate lives or you have lost your emotional bond, then the marriage may be in trouble. The fourth sign is when there are frequent arguments or avoidance of conflict. Yes, when there is constant fighting over the same issues or when you completely avoid the conflict, then you are stonewalling each other, you are blocking each other from like expressing their feelings. This can point to unresolved problems in the marriage. The fifth sign is when there is a loss of intimacy in your marriage. A noticeable decline in physical or emotional intimacy can suggest that you are growing apart. This includes both sexual intimacy and simple acts of affection like hugging, holding hands, or showing care. The sixth sign is growing resentment. If feelings of resentment are building up, and you find it hard to forgive or let go of past issues, it can lead to a toxic cycle of negativity in your marriage. Then the seventh sign is when there is infidelity or trust issues, when there is cheating or lying or even about small things. This can cause a major rupture in trust. If one or both of you have engaged in infidelity or if there are trust issues, it can seriously damage the marriage. The eighth sign is when you are feeling alone or unsupported in the marriage. If one or both of you feel isolated or unsupported within the marriage, it is a sign that the marriage is not functioning as it should because everyone has their roles to play in the marriage. That means someone is lagging behind. Then the ninth sign is when there are different life goals or values between you. If you are growing apart in terms of life goals, values, or priorities, it can cause a major strain on the marriage. This could include differences in practicing the deen, career plans, or child rearing. Then the 10th sign that your marriage is in trouble is when there is emotional or physical abuse. Any form of abuse, emotional, verbal, or physical, requires immediate intervention. If you are feeling threatened, manipulated, or controlled, then you need a professional help. The 11th sign that your marriage is in distress is when there are frequent thoughts of separation or divorce. If either of you frequently thinks about divorce or mentions it during arguments, it is a sign that the marriage is in distress. Now, when you recognize these signs early, it can help you seek help before the marriage deteriorates further. Counseling or seeking professional guidance can often resolve these issues and strengthen your marriage. Revamping a marriage when these signs are present requires intentional effort from both of you. Now, here is how you can approach revamping your marriage. The first thing you need to do is you need to have an open and honest communication. You should start the conversation already. Both of you need to have a heart-to-heart discussion about your concerns. Encourage each other to share your feelings without judgment. You should Make the problem, don't your partner the problem. What I mean here is you should tell your partner how you feel about the problem, not that they are the problem themselves. Because once they are disconnected from the problem, they tend to act more, they tend to not feel attacked, they tend to not get defensive. You should focus on truly listening to each other without interrupting or getting defensive. You should show them that you understand where they are coming from. That is, you should have empathy. You should validate each other's feelings. The second way to rebuild or revamp your marriage is by rebuilding trust. Yes, you need to be transparent with each other. If you have trust issues or past betrayals, you need to rebuild trust in your marriage. This is key. This means you have to be open about your emotions, about the activities, your whereabouts, and intentions. Trust is restored through consistent actions over time. You should also both be willing to forgive past mistakes and let go of resentment, because you don't need to keep bringing these issues that have gone by. You need to let go, and you need to let go and agree that this is in your past and you are willing to move on now. You don't need to bring up the past whenever you have arguments. There are like chances that the other person may relapse. They may repeat their past mistake, but that doesn't give you the avenue to keep holding on to your grudge, because holding on to grudges only deepen the divide in your marriage. The third way to revamp your marriage is you should revive the emotional and physical intimacy between you. You should reconnect emotionally. Start small with daily check-ins or intentional quality time between you. You should schedule date nights, even if they are simple activities like going for a walk together or cooking together. Ask them to wait for you in the kitchen so as you cook, or help you peel something, or even go on a drive together. But these days that petrol is expensive, going for a walk is more ideal. All right. You should also try to physically connect often, because this reflects emotional closeness. Do things like holding hands, hugging, kissing regularly. These things can reignite the intimacy in your marriage. The fourth way is to address conflicts constructively. You need skills to address your conflicts, because you need to be calm, you need to be constructive without escalating into criticism or blame. If an issue arises, focus on solutions rather than pointing fingers, because the moment you feel like you must win against your spouse, that is your marriage's first step to failure. That is your marriage's demise, because you are a team. You are supposed to be on one side together, not against each other. The marriage is winning, then you are both winning. The marriage is losing, then you have both lost. You need to take breaks during your arguments. When emotions get too intense, you need to take a short break to calm down. Then return to the conversation when both of you are ready to communicate without any anger between you. You also need to reassess priorities and set shared goals. You should sit down and discuss your values, your life goals, and what both of you want from the marriage. Because finding common ground and working towards shared goals will strengthen your marriage. Then you also need to create new things, new traditions in your home, whether it is a weekly something you do together, weekly sit down, weekly outing for ziyara, or a shared hobby, or weekly musafa or something like that. Just do something together. Build new traditions in your home to foster a sense of togetherness and commitment between you. You should also increase emotional support. Be each other's cheerleaders, biggest supporters. Make an intentional effort to support each other's personal growth and achievements. Show genuine interest in what each other do, or their lives, or their dreams. Show that you care. Ask about their projects, their dream projects, and their work and their trips. Like, ask after them. Talk to them about it. You should also learn to show appreciation and gratitude. Make it a habit to express appreciation for one another daily. Daily. No matter what they contribute to your life on that day, even if it takes them only to go out to their job, their place of work, and come home at night, just look at them and say you truly appreciate them for what they did to you. Thank you for today. Like, gratitude helps counterbalance the negativity that often arises from constant criticism or stress in your marriage. The seventh point is you should seek professional help. Yes, sometimes it is just beyond us, and we need someone to guide us, to put us through. If you are struggling to make progress on your own, you should seek professional counseling, because a counselor can help facilitate healthier communication and offer you tools to rebuild your marriage. Or you should enroll in marriage workshops or take courses like the Marriage Revamp course to gain practical tips and exercises for strengthening your marriage. And you can also try reconnecting spiritually. Strengthen your marriage by engaging in practices like tahajjud, or reflecting on your Islamic ta'alimat about love and marriage, like study the seerah and learn from the pious predecessors, and making dua for the relationship, like wake up at night and make dua together. Make it a habit for you to fast on certain days in a month. Make it an activity that you do it together. Maybe have an iftar together or the sahur together. Like, you will have certain togetherness over this activity. Yes, you are doing an act of worship, but you are doing it together, and it gives you a sense of like being on the same team. Even your children will grow up to learn those practices, inshallah. You should build a strong connection between you, because this will translate into a healthier, more harmonious marriage. And the ninth point to build or revamp your marriage is you need to implement boundaries from external influences, like boundaries with in-laws, with friends. You need to establish clear boundaries with them, the extended family and friends, like to protect the intimacy within your marriage. You need to protect the trust between you. You are a united front. You are on one team. Always know that and know peace. You should focus on each other instead of letting external pressures, societal expectations, or third party opinions strain your marriage. Redirect that energy towards your partnership, towards rebuilding your marriage, towards intentionality, towards doing beautiful things to each other. And just don't focus on the naysayers. The 10th way to rebuild your marriage is by committing to change and growth. Yes, you should encourage self-reflection between you and personal growth. Both of you should strive to become better versions of yourselves. This will positively affect your marriage, inshallah. You need to be patient, you need to be consistent, because changes don't happen overnight. You need to remain patient and committed to consistently apply these steps you have agreed upon to rectify your marriage. By making this effort, you will, inshallah, transform a struggling marriage into a fulfilling, harmonious marriage that thrives on love, trust, and mutual respect. And in another video, inshallah, we are going to see several ways a woman can respect her husband, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum wa ma'assalam.